All right, folks. So I don't know if you've noticed, internet junkies that you are, social media addicts that you are, but there is a new social media app on the block. It's called Threads by Meta, launched by Mark Zuckerberg. This is a text-based app which mimics Twitter in its design, layout, and functionality. I'll just bring a sample of what I have here. As you can see, looks very, very similar to both Twitter and Substack notes. They even have the blue checks, which I thought was a bit gratuitous. I mean, the blue check is the Twitter thing. I mean, I don't know if that's trademarked, but it may as well be, right? There's a cultural trademark on blue
wow.
checks,
They even did the blue check?
Yeah, they even did the blue check.
Oh, wow. It literally looks exactly like that.
Oh, it looks exactly like it. You can like, you can repost, you can quote, you can reply. There is a 500-character limit on text posts.
Even the buttons are the same.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same. Substack Notes is pretty much the exact same thing, too. There's a 500-character limit on text posts and a 5-minute cap on video posts. So both of those are about double what Twitter gives you. They had a successful launch, 30 million signups in its first day on the market. It is currently only available to Instagram users, so it's like an extension of the Instagram app, whereas Instagram is basically a photo extension of the Facebook app now. This is a sort of text extension of Instagram. You can post photos, videos. I mean, this is basically the Twitter app repurposed on Facebook. And, you know, this is a move that comes at a time where there's a lot of noise about people leaving Twitter because of Elon and, you know, going to, first it was Mastodon. That just wasn't built up to the point where, you know, it could sustain an influx of people. Now there's Blue Sky, which is the Jack Dorsey app that people were fleeing to. The idea is that now that another real tech giant like Facebook, another behemoth in the space, has their own, this might be able to give Twitter a serious run for its money just because of its presence in the market already. I still have my doubts, especially when it comes to political discourse, because like famous people can bring their following anywhere, right? So you got like Paris Hilton has a handle here, right? They're going to have hundreds of thousands of people follow them wherever they go. If you just engage in Twitter discourse, it's probably taken you a while to build up the following that you have if you have a large following. So you just can't move over all at once to this other thing, even if it is powered by Meta, Facebook, right? But whether it's a legit threat or not, Twitter was not happy. So Alex Spiro, Elon Musk's lawyer, wrote Meta the following letter after its launch. We won't read the whole thing, but I'll just read some of it. Over the past year, Meta has hired dozens of Twitter employees. Twitter knows that these employees previously worked at Twitter, that these employees had and continue to have access to Twitter's trade secrets and other highly confidential information, that these employees owe ongoing obligations to Twitter, and that many of these employees improperly retained Twitter documents and electronic devices. So they are basically claiming that Twitter's trade secrets were used to develop this app. So they're basically threatening legal action. Russell, what do you think?
I think that it's going to wind up being kind of like you have all these social media apps that you don't necessarily use. Like, yeah, I don't think there's going to be a mass migration to Threads. I think people will add it. But then what are you going to do? Like, if you already have your following on Twitter, you're also going to deal with this. Like, there's only so many hours in the day. So I think it's yet another example of the libs getting very excited about, oh, we're going to get Elon now. Oh, he's in trouble now. When has that ever worked out for them? When has that ever panned out? I understand. I agree with you. Sure, it's powered by Facebook. And I think for that reason, Blue Sky, Mastodon, these other efforts fall by the wayside. Because now with this in the space, yes, this will become the principal rival to Twitter. Sure. Can it displace Twitter? No, Twitter has as you say, it has too much of a head start. I mean, even me, I only started building a presence on Twitter a few months ago. I'm not going over there now to try to
Right.
build a presence.
Right.
It's a catch-22. Like, no one's going to go over there until the people are there, and the people won't go there because the people aren't there.
Right. Exactly. Right. I mean, the same thing. Like, whenever these new platforms come up, like, we've made a conscious choice here to not start swapping out the YouTube audience for the Rumble audience. Obviously, we love being on YouTube. But we need people to sign up for Rumble as a sort of fallback in case there's a big tech crackdown on outlets like ours. But we don't want to. Like, I actually like big tech. I just wish big tech worked better. I wish it were regulated better as a public utility. So that we can just have a free speech place. Like, it's actually really great and really convenient to have everybody in more or less one place because it saves us a tremendous amount of time to have to post shit to all these different platforms. I mean, we can sync our videos from YouTube to Rumble, YouTube to Odyssey and stuff like that. But like, I would love to be able to post every YouTube video up to Twitter. I would love to be able to post every YouTube clip up to Substack. We just don't have the time to do all of it. Same thing applies here.
Like, you basically have to hire a social media director
exactly
to handle all of this shit. Like, you're going to be, for our marketing, it would be good if we did more on TikTok, if we did more on Instagram, but it's enough just to get the show up.
Right. Then you have to share it to 5 different outlets manually, and then you have to keep track of who's responding on what thing. Like, if I tweet something out, I should tweet something out on Twitter, then I should copy and paste that into Substack notes, then I should copy and paste that into Threads, then I should put it on Facebook. But who can do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane. And so that's the real problem. And look, I think Threads will be successful because of the just massive built-in audience of Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
And eventually they're going to make it available to all the Facebook users, not just the Instagram users. But it's going to be more for like influencers, like already established influencers. Like the thing
like
that
Instagram
makes Twitter,
is now.
Right, like Instagram is now, basically. Right. What makes Twitter so unique is that everyone is just reachable, and it really allows everybody to build this following using nothing but the app and people to interact with people, like famous people. You can tweet at the president, and theoretically the president can read it and tweet you back. You know, like, that communication just doesn't really exist anywhere else. And it looks like, based on the model of Threads, that's what they're going for. And they may very well get there someday, but it's just going to be too steep a transition curve for these, just every man and every woman on Twitter to like transition their established following over and basically start from scratch on this new app. And really, why? Like, the only people, I don't understand this apocalyptic thing. Well, Twitter's definitely failing soon. I mean, they said that a year ago. It's still there. It still works. Like, I don't understand this. Well, Twitter is horrible now. The thing he did with the read limits is horrible. And he said that that's temporary. We hope it is temporary. I have the blue check so I can post long videos
really
so I don't run
timing.
into it. Really bad timing, especially now. Aside from that, I mean, I don't really have problems with the app. It seems to work fine for me. So I don't understand this certainty that people have. Well, Twitter's definitely failing. That is lib mind rot there. It's like the idea, well, certainly. That sounds a lot to me like, well, Trump will never become president. Right.
Well, and it's similar because a lot of it is centered on Elon Musk. I could tell you, even before he became public enemy #1, anybody who's followed financial press over the last 10 years, Tesla was going to go bankrupt next month, every month for 10 years. Right? Oh, no, this is it. We're shorting Tesla. Billions of dollars have been lost by shorts by taking that position on Tesla. It seems like that pattern is playing out in a similar way with Twitter. Twitter's not going anywhere. It's kind of like, look, actually Meta, the parent company now of Facebook, and Threads, they had a really bad time after they introduced Meta, the metaverse, and nobody gave a fuck. And with a company that big that has that much cash to burn, they're never out of the game. And now they've like doubled over the last year in terms of their stock price because now they're getting into this. They're getting into other things. When you have runway, you're never out of the game, right? Like Apple. Apple can have a bad year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They have so
Disney's
much
not
cash.
out of the game. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Disney's not going bankrupt. As much as I say they're about to hit a very bad period and they're kind of in it. Yeah, is Disney going bankrupt? And look, I was actually thinking about this before. That is partly a function of how much money we have funneled into these corporations, because at one time you would have gone bankrupt if you had the problems that some of these companies have had. Look at Atari. I think today Atari wouldn't have gone bankrupt. They would have had so much money from all the wealth that's been extracted out of society and funneled into corporations that they would have been able to ride out the bad moves that they made until they got to the other side of it. I think that's part of why you so rarely see these big companies go bankrupt anymore.
Please clap.